Hello guys, once again welcome to Semanhyia Farms, and I'm so excited to be here. As you guys know, I am back on the continent of Africa and in Ghana. Looking forward to the exciting projects that we have coming up. The irrigation project, we are planting 100 acres of Brachiaria grass. We are also breeding the Boer goats, and from my team, our next shipment is already on its way. So we're very excited, and I can't wait to share with you guys all the various updates of everything that has been happening at the farm. You guys are aware that I've been gone for like 6 months, so I'm also missing everything. But last weekend, I was lucky enough to be at the farm and go through everything that is happening. But this video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the Brachiaria grass and various ways that you can plant it. I know that some of you have already gotten your hands on some because the rainy season had already started, and I don't want you guys to miss out on this lecture on how to plant the Brachiaria grass. But before I go into that, I want to say a big thank you to you. Yes, you that are watching me, for all the support that you guys have been giving to us by sharing this video to your friends so that we can continue growing and they can also have access to honest, transparent, and authentic farming tips that I've been given on this channel. So thank you guys so much. You know what? When you actually like any of our video, it tells YouTube that this video is supported, it's enjoyed by people, and therefore it pushes it out to so many other people like you that are interested in farming. So your comments have really helped us to grow and be able to continue to give you this information. So I thank you all so much, and feel free to go ahead and smash that like button and continue telling YouTube about this video and what we are doing here. But if today is your first time watching any video from me, my name is Fred, and welcome to the Semanhyia family. Here we talk about innovative way of farming in Africa by learning different practices, different methods, different innovative ways, so that we can encourage ourselves to go into farming and support sort of the feeding the continent agenda that we've all been pushing, and also motivate youth like myself, to go into farming. So we are all pushing each other, and therefore, if this is a content that you would like to see more of, then go ahead and hit the subscription button, and don't forget to also hit the notification bell so that anytime I release any video, you will be notified and can come and watch, right? But today we are talking about the Brachiaria grass and how to grow it in order to feed your animal. Somebody might ask me, what is Brachiaria grass? So basically, livestock farming is declining in Africa, and most importantly in Ghana. Why? Because of lack of feeding, right? So basically, a lot of people that do livestock farming like cattle, goats, and so on and so forth are running into challenges, especially during the dry season. If you go to places like Bupe, Techiman, I think Wenchi, in the dry season, everybody is selling their livestock, right? Because there's no source of feed, there's no source of water. And even in the rainy season where the grasses are growing, what happens is that, farmers also start planting their crops, So there's always a backlash between crop farmers and livestock farmers, right? Because we all want to use the land. And basically what is happening is, villages are getting burned down, people are being killed just because of that misunderstanding, which is huge in Ghana, and I know it is huge in Nigeria as well, and so many other African countries. So when I wanted to start cattle farm, I really wanted to go a different direction by doing an intensive system of farming, because I didn't want my cows roaming around and having to deal with those problems with other farmers, because the community that I'm in is actually a farming community as well, and therefore you can succeed in your business while destroying other people's business. So throughout my research, I came across this grass called Brachiaria grass, and it was actually introduced to me by an organization in Kenya that is set out to actually improve livestock farming in Africa. So they've built a whole lab. It's headed by an Indian man called Mr. Sita, who was kind enough to introduce me to this grass. Over the years, I have been growing this grass and feeding my cattle, all my livestock at my farm with it. I even feed it to pigs, rabbits, grass cutters, goats, cattle, they all eat it. And it has really become a savior for me. But as my cattle and livestock, increases, there is the need for me to plant more. And therefore, this year, for example, I've committed to planting 100 acres of Brachiaria grass on my land. The reason why I chose Brachiaria grass, aside all the other grass that is available, is because of its high protein content. Right, so Brachiaria grass can have somewhere from 18 to 20% protein. There's no grass which has that high content of protein, and that's the number one reason why I chose the Brachiaria grass. The number two reason is the resistance of droughts. Right, so I don't know where you're watching me from, but in Ghana, or in West Africa, we have two seasons, which is the dry season and the rainy season. In the dry season, for about 4 to 6 months, there could be no rain, right? And I've experienced this because I've been growing Brachiaria grass for years. And if you go and see a Brachiaria grass in the dry season with no rain for 4 months, the leaves, everything is still fresh. The growth will decrease, but I can promise you that it will always be fresh, and you can always cut it and feed it. If you plant Brachiaria grass in the rainy season, every 4 to 6 weeks, you'll be able to harvest it. In the dry season, you're looking at maybe 10 weeks to 12 weeks before you can harvest it. So definitely your production will reduce, but the grass never dies, and it's still, the leaves are still there, and it's still green as compared to all the other grass that are available. Right? For example, alfalfa is another, nutritious and good plant. But again, in the dry season, alfalfa will die completely. It is not meant for this weather. And that's why I chose the Brachiaria grass. And over the years, most of you have been contacting me about wanting some of this grass. And I didn't have the seeds. So I basically have to uproot mine, divide it into pieces, and share it with you all. Right? But that is a lot of work. So this year, when I was in the US, I decided to actually travel to Mexico and really discover the root of this grass and be able to bring it to Ghana. Lucky enough for us, some of the grass arrived about 2 weeks ago, and my team have been doing an amazing job, and I know right now it's on the WhatsApp line below, and if you want some, wherever you are in Africa, we're able to get it to you. So if you need some, please contact the WhatsApp number below, and my team will get you some to wherever that you are. In Ghana as well, we will bring it through either VIP or any transport service that is coming to wherever that you are, so that you can get some, right? But really, I know most of you have already gotten some. Some of you are still thinking about it. Others, you're waiting for the rain in the next few weeks to happen. And therefore, I think it's very important that I bring you this video and explain to you how I am planting it, right? So I'm going to take you to the farm, because basically last weekend, that is all what I was doing, focusing on sort of planting the Brachiaria grass, not for you and not just for this video, but really planting it so that I can take it to my 100 acres of land. So I am planting really a lot at this time. And basically, there are 2 ways to plant the Brachiaria grass, or you will say 3 ways if you already have a Brachiaria grass. The first method is basically nursing, right? So that is what basically I did this weekend. So what we are doing here is to create beds, right? So the beds are basically a heap of sand. So I don't know what space that you have, but the space that we have here, we were actually constructing a chicken pen that we couldn't finish, so it's not complete. And what we are doing is we are using that space to build our beds to nest our plant. It is not roof, even though I tried some in my living room in my flower pot and it grew, right? So, but I won't advise you to go and plant it in your living room. But basically, I'm using the nursing method, and basically what my team is doing is heaping sand and making it loose enough so that the germination is easy. So what we're doing is we're heaping these sands into, I don't know, maybe 4 by 6 feet, and basically continue to heap it till we have enough. The Brachiaria grass root doesn't go very deep, so you don't need to heap the sand that high, but I mean, we just decided to do it this way. when you're doing this process, you also want to leave space in between so that you can walk in between and also be able to water it in case it's not raining. One important thing that you have to know is that the Brachiaria grass doesn't grow in swamp places. So wherever that you have too much water on the ground, or when it rains, it gets flooded, your Brachiaria grass is not going to grow there. It doesn't need too much water. So basically with ours, what we're going to do is to just water it once a day, early morning or late evening, and that's it. If it rains, fine. If it doesn't rain, then we will water it in the evening or in the morning just once, and that should do the work, right? So basically we're doing the nursing method, and what we are doing now, after we've heaped basically the soil, we'll use our hand to make sure that it is smooth, there is no particles, there is nothing that is going to block it from germination. And once these beds are properly laid and nicely done, what we'll do is we will broadcast the Brachiaria grass gradually on it, spreading it around it so that they all land on the soil. We're really spreading a lot because we are targeting 100 acres, right? And that's why we are spreading a lot and making all these beds. If you don't have 100 acres, you don't need that much, right? Depending on the size of land that you're committing to having your grass plant on, you can decide the number of beds that you're going to do. But we are basically broadcasting it on the bed. After broadcasting, what we're going to do is basically spread soil on top of it. So the Brachiaria grass doesn't need a lot of topsoil to be able to germinate, right? It will be hard for it to come out. So it's just like when you're planting tomatoes or pepper. Those of you that are, crop farmers or vegetable farmers, you basically spread a little bit of soil on top of it, right? Just to get it covered enough so that it's not exposed to the sun. If you don't cover it, also birds, lizards, squirrels will come and eat it. Trust me, you're not the only one who needs this grass, right? So you want to make sure that you cover it with soil, so that all of it is covered by very light, right? Less than 1 inch of soil needs to cover it, right? Once that is covered, what we also do is cover it again with, palm tree leaves. We cover it with palm tree leaves. The reason why we cover it with palm tree leaf is because we are watering, right? If you water it and the water, if you water it with a watering can, then you probably don't need those leaves because it won't expose it. We were watering some with, basically holes and stuff, and those have strong pressure. And therefore, when it hits the ground, it exposes some of the seeds. And that's why we cover it with a palm tree leaf so that it doesn't expose the seed, basically. So every day we are going to be basically watering it either morning or evening. So we'll do this, and from my experience, the Brachiaria grass will germinate after 5 days. So if you grow it and in 5 days it hasn't germinated, if you can dig it out, because you're doing something wrong. It's either you're planting it, your soil is not good, you're planting it in the sun, or it didn't get water as it needed, or it was exposed and not fully covered. So all the tests that I've done germinated after 5 days. And I'm going to come here and show you guys after 5 days if this has also germinated as well. But I've already done a germination test, and it really germinated after 5 days and started growing all the way, right? So basically what I'm going to do is let this grow for about 5 weeks, and after 5 weeks I'm going to uproot it, cut the top, and transplant it to my 100 acres of land. That is one version that you can plant it. Sorry guys, I'm just pouring all the information out there. But the second way you can do it is direct planting. So if you're going to do direct planting, then you really want to make sure that it is in the rainy season. One important thing that you want to do is also plant it in lines, right? Planting it in lines is very difficult because for your first 3 weeks you will have to weed it. So you have to give some intervals. I was doing about 1 feet intervals. At some point I was doing 3 feet intervals, but you want to make sure that it also joins together. So if you're putting 4 seeds, right? If you're putting 4 seeds in a hole, then you probably want to do about 3 feet intervals so that you can have some space to clear the weed. You will probably clear the weed for one time, and then that's it. Once it grows, you don't need to weed it anymore because it will cover the land, and weeds cannot grow under that. So that is the good thing about sort of the Brachiaria grass that I love as well. So very low maintenance. Anytime you're harvesting, then you're really either feeding it to your livestock or you're preparing it as hay. So you can plant it directly, which is just like the way we plant maize, right, or corn. So basically use a stake or use your machete, dig a hole, put it inside, cover it. Dig a hole, put it inside, cover it, and you make sure that it is in line. That can work. That is how I actually planted my first set last about 2 years ago, and it grew and it worked perfectly. The only issue with that is if you dig it too deep, it will take quite a while to grow. And if you do that and it doesn't rain and you're not able to water it because you don't know where you planted it, then you're in trouble as well. And in order to play safe, that's why I like to nurse it, so that I have time, I can do it and water it all the time. And once it grows, I will uproot it and then plant in lines, right? When I uproot it too, I just put about 2 seeds in. So that also helped me save. So I can use little seed to cover so much ground. But when you're planting it directly, you don't know, right, what is going to happen to all of them. Maybe a lizard might come and pick 2 and only 1 will germinate, right? Or for any unforeseen situation. That's why you put about 4 or 5 in that hole, right? But when I'm nursing it, I don't have to worry about that. I can put as many as I want, and when it grows and I'm transplanting it, I'll rather put only 2 in there. So that helped me save costs. So that is sort of the second way for planting it. If you're really low on budget and you're trying to scale, then please nurse it. Nurse it at your backyard, nurse it at a small place, make a small shade for it, whatever you can do to protect it. Nurse it there, let it grow, and then after that, you can basically transplant it to your field, to your farm, to wherever that you want to do it. Then the third option that I talked about, if you already have the Brachiaria grass, is basically when your Brachiaria grass grow to a certain extent, right? The sucker becomes so big that you can uproot it with a mattock or whatever equipment or tool that you have at your disposal. You can use it to uproot it. Once you uproot it, you can use machete, again, whatever that is available to you, to divide it into different pieces. Once you have those pieces, you can then plant the sucker in the soil, water it, and it will grow as well, right? But if you don't have it already, then you can use the seed. If you have the seed, and let's say you've bought, 500 grams or 100 grams, and you've planted it on, 5 acres of land, but you have 20 acres, and therefore after a few months you want to spread it across the rest of the acres, that is the easy way to do. If you don't want to buy more seed or spend more money, you can also uproot it, divide it, and then replant it again. The downside to that method is that you will have to destroy basically what you've already established and replant all of it again, which could be an issue if you already have livestock that you're feeding. So I will leave that decision up to you guys. And guys, so that these are the ways you can plant the Brachiaria grass. I'm going to be at the farm again this weekend, which is going to be about 7 days, and be able to record a video showing you guys exactly an update. And I already know that it's growing because the team have been sending me pictures of it, that it has already started germinating. So I'm definitely going to go there and share more information with you guys. But I really encourage you guys, if you are thinking about doing any livestock in future, or if you have any livestock either at your backyard or you're thinking about doing it big, this has been my lifesaver, and I want to share that with you again. Go ahead, contact the WhatsApp number below, and the guys will help you out and make sure that wherever you are in Africa or in Ghana, you'll be able to get your hands on the grass and grow it as well. My goal is that every livestock farmer in Ghana and Africa would have this grass at their disposal, right? I use mine for hay, which is able to last for about 3 years, right? But unfortunately, my cattle eat everything in a year, so I'm not able to save it that long. But this year I'm going big because of the goats and cattle, and I hope that with this approach, I will be able to have 500 cows. I'll be able to have 10,000 goats, and that is the only way to go. So if your dream is similar to mine, then I encourage you to get some of the grass, and let's do it together, guys. And if you want to talk to me, again, there is a link in the description. Click on it, book some time, and let's chat. But I'm in Ghana, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys so soon. But I'm excited to be back here and start with all the projects. The agro store is also coming, guys. I told you guys that I'm gonna do this, and I'm very excited. I will actually share an update with you guys very soon. But I found a store in Achimota area, and still negotiating and stuff about it, but it is coming to life. So I know most of you were in support, and you guys are pushing me to do this. And yeah, I've never done any sort of buy and sell sort of thing like that before, but hey, why not? I'm already into the agriculture. There are things that I use myself, so I'm excited about this, and I'll keep you guys updated as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm excited. This week is just going to be all updates from the farm, and very excited for everything that I have in stock for you guys. So stay tuned, and I'll see you again sometime this week.